Welcome to the best of Homes on Homes. After doing 7 seasons of Homes on Homes, I've spent a lot of time working in cramped basements, moldy bathrooms, and dusty attics. So I jump at the chance to work outdoors, but working outside can be good and bad. You're at the mercy of the elements. You can do all the planning in the world, but I'll tell you, sometimes Mother Nature has different plans. Today's all about making it right outside, and these next stories remind us why they call it the great outdoors. Nice. Awesome. Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Yeah, baby. If you're going to do it right the first time.
My hero.
It's perfect. On the money.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever.
Some homeowners are tempted by a deal, but there are no shortcuts to a job done right. Under the table or cash deals puts every homeowner at risk because there's no contract, there's no paper trail, there's nothing. I'm used to helping one family at a time, but this next story led me to a whole neighborhood of families, all victims of the same contractor. New residential developments are great for contractors. Think about it, hundreds of homes in a single neighborhood that need some type of work. Michelle!
Hey, how are you?
Nice to see you again.
Thanks for coming.
Adrian, nice to see you. For Michelle and Adrian, they needed a fence. In fact, the whole neighborhood needed a fence. A local contractor offered a block of 50 homeowners a deal they couldn't refuse. But there was a catch. They all had to commit.
In order to do our fence, he came around to all 50 homes and required a deposit and of half of the price.
Pretty much half deposit.
$500 approximately a house. Some people paid more, some people paid the full amount of the fence, and nobody's seen or heard from him since.
Just tell me it's not all cash, that everybody paid by check.
90% of these houses paid cash. No paper trail, no chance in, really, hell, trying to go to court to get any money back.
He did that to a few people where he really put them on the spot, saying, if you don't give me the money now, then your neighbor's not gonna get their fence and you're gonna be responsible, and how are you gonna feel if you slow down the project of the fences? And he gave a few people a guilt trip. And a lot of people left him standing in a driveway, drove to the convenience store to the bank machine, came back and handed him the cash.
Michelle had fire. The get up and go to knock on everybody's door in this neighborhood and say, hey, we got taken. Did you get taken? What's your name? Did you pay cash?
You know, it's not about the money now. It's about stopping this guy in his tracks from doing this again to other naive homeowners.
So who all paid cash here? Put up your hand. Who paid checks? Put up your hand.
He was scratching off on the checks. People were writing it to the actual construction company.
He scribbled out his business name, put in his personal name, and initialed these people's checks.
You know, obviously it's not done.
As you can see, he's stopped halfway.
Did he put these on?
I put those on just for safety reasons.
Smart move.
Yeah, I didn't want any kids or anything falling in.
You call these holes?
That's less than a foot. Looking around, I see holes that are not even the right distance apart. It's as if they just picked up the auger and just drilled one here, drilled one here.
I don't want to see the concrete out of the ground like that. What happens is when they bring the concrete up on top of the ground, the frost will grab it, pick the pole up out of the ground. You ever seen the poles come out of the ground? Your fence shifts up? That's why. We don't want to see drywall screws at all in the hangers. You can always see that this is twisting and pulling it out. We see no nails whatsoever in the top into the 4x4. So unfortunately, this fence would only last a couple of years and pretty well fall down anyways.
Was it surveyed? Are they deep enough? Is it built properly?
But just taking a look down, if you look straight down. Yeah.
I bet you could have built that better.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We're gonna fill in the old holes, bore all brand new holes, and obviously go buy a whole bunch more new wood and do this again.
Fences aren't hard to build, but doing 50 is a huge job. In this case, the best fence was a defense. We had to take down his fencing, rip out all his posts, and break a lot of concrete. We also brought in a survey team for the new layout. The last genius who did it didn't think it was important to stick to the property line. If you're digging holes for a fence post, they should be a minimum of 4 feet, not 3. That gets us below the frost line. Anything higher and the frost will lift it. The lumber arrived and we were finally ready to build some fences. Let's do the math. The wood alone cost $45,000. The original contractor was doing the entire job for 50 grand. What did that tell me? He never had any intention of finishing the job. It's pretty bad when a contractor takes your money and runs. But you know what? It brought them together. It got them talking to each other. In fact, they needed to band together if they were going to make this right. There's strength in numbers, and knowing that you're not alone makes it easier.
After Frank disappeared and took everybody's money, you know what? It kind of brought the community together because we had a common goal now.
I personally believe that this is a blessing in disguise.
I didn't know my neighbor behind me until all this started.
We get to know everybody more, everybody get together.
Everyone is, kind of bonded tighter because now we got issues, right? So now we got to bond tighter to, fight this guy back.
4x4s directly to the end. Dan, shovel this side, please.
That's it.
Okay, keep going. Now the final test. Actually look down and see how straight that is. 900 feet, I want to be able to look from this sand right down and not see another post. That's perfect. In other words, I'm looking at one 4x4 and everything should be in line. Look down that. Is that straight or what? Okay, I'm fussy. I love my job. I love building. I love making changes, fencing, decks, houses, additions. That's what I do. I love it. 52 houses of fencing is a little monotonous for me and a little too much, and I'd rather leave that to the fence and deck specialists. But for me, who was going to help these people?
We're going to party it up.
Yeah,
We need to celebrate this whole thing. Like, it's finally done. It's over. Now all we need is just to celebrate and enjoy it.
We're having the fence completion party.
Well, that castle may need a bit of work. It's not very rigid. But you know what? It works for the kids. Oh, sorry. Jeez.
Okay. If Mike hadn't stepped in to help us out, which is amazing that he did that, I don't know where we would be. We would probably still be sitting saying, what are we gonna do?
When Michelle got on board, she really got the whole street involved and got everybody on board.
Michelle and Adrian, I don't think we've ever been this close before.
Thank you for helping with our fence, your friends Buick and Cadillac.
Oh my gosh, thank you
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I would need to be a man for all seasons to help Jim and Allison. That would be hard enough. Breaking the bad news to them about their home, that would be even harder.
Now, how do I tell the homeowners about this?
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today, it's an inside look on our greatest outdoor jobs. Jim and Allison were getting an addition to their home when their contractor bailed in the middle of the job. He just stopped showing up. But the worst part of all of this was that he left the house completely vulnerable to bad weather. Here I'm thinking, we've got to do this fast. That meant we're on Mother Nature's clock.
Jim and Allison started with an addition for their children. It works. Everything I see is the way it should be, other than finished.
They weren't coming out very much, and when they did come out, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of work being done.
We're told here that the contractor completed 7 other projects before finishing this one. Is it because they're too nice? Is it because they didn't demand more? Who knows? But at this point, bottom line is, it's not done.
At some point you think, what can we do? You're sort of just left, with having to figure it out yourself.
I'm a little worried with the, I guess you have a peat moss on top of that.
Yeah.
We want to keep that away from the wood. Again, we're seeing a high point here, and it appears that it is. It's running down into the house here. We don't want to see this. I want to see this graded out away from it. That's just concrete. Please tell me there's a coating on that.
There was something black.
This is a big issue right here, I'll tell you right now. I have a feeling we're going to have to dig this whole entire area right here to make sure that this is properly coated and properly wrapped on the outside of the foundation.
This spelled disaster. Not only was the grading of the yard actually leading into the home, the foundation hadn't been properly coated. This basement was doomed from the beginning. Fixing it meant a lot of work on the exterior foundation. Well, good morning, gentlemen. We have a beautiful neighborhood here. A little bit of a cool day, but nothing we can't handle. We've got to do major inspections on this house. Armando, what I was looking at was, you can see, he's tried to create a weeping system within, but the problem that I see is it drops right back down into the house, and I don't like it against the wood. Again, the same thing here. We're really high against the house and not allowing that minimum 6 inches we need on the concrete, and now you can see that it's dropping back into the house, especially here.
Well, there's plenty of falls, so we'll start with that. Take it 6 inches down here and just grade it away.
Something tells me this would flood like crazy in the spring. Look at this.
Absolutely. Yeah, no.
I can see right under it.
What we can do is dig down here, maybe 2 feet right the way around, continue that waterproofing up to
6 inch mark
the board, and we'll put our drainage board inside that one down there.
Working outside is great when the sun is shining and things go your way. But when the weather starts to shift, so does your schedule. What can you do? You have to roll with the punches. Holy muckville.
Well, we've found the T-connection there. Got it all cleared out. So we do have a connection going to the inside of the house.
I noticed you dug under the block there, so what we'll do is structurally support it off this footing. It can be tricky to make it watertight, though, isn't it?
No, once he gets it up there, we'll get...
watertight over that?
He'll do a parging on it, we'll prime it, put the rubberized membrane on it. New foundation coating is going up to there.
Leaving 6 inches,
which is just a little bit below grade.
Get the weeping in, get the stone in, get this up.
Yes, we're going to get all this done here. Just, it's not good to leave them open too long with all the mud and everything else.
So here we have this massive job of waterproofing the foundation and fixing the grading. But we also had to finish the brick. As it got closer to winter, it got tougher to stay on schedule. Why? Days got shorter, the ground got harder, the cold slowed everything down. But I was determined to finish what someone else started. I couldn't leave this family with the door to the kids' playground more than 4 feet off the ground. So what did I do? I made it right. Wheelbarrow, cement. Let's pour these, get the cradles in. We'll line up our 4x4s where we want them, pour them in place. Cedar is a natural wood that not only smells wonderful, water doesn't normally harm it. That's why you see cedar shingles on a roof, because it's cedar, not a pine, not a spruce, not anything like that that'll rot. Cedar naturally will not rot. We started this job late in the summer and fought our way right through fall and winter. I'll tell you, I love the great outdoors, but I will never like digging into frozen ground. By the time winter settled in, the addition was finally finished. Now, this family could put it behind them and know their house could stand up to the weather. As we started inspecting the outside, bringing in Armando, and corrected all the grading on this side until we started digging in the back with John, and that we found that we had to raise the height of your foundation protection membrane on the outside. We actually had to dig down in the back and fix a whole bunch of structure in the foundation in the back where the new meets the old, put in new cinder blocks so we could tie on top of that and tie it back into the house, which he was very successful in doing in both the back and the front, and I think it looks really good.
No, it makes such a difference
that brick.
Keep the
I
brick.
love it. And that was what was in the original plans, but we never thought we were going to get the brick. Yeah, we thought that was gone. To take one thing off our plate is fantastic. I'm telling you, it's fantastic not to have to, worry at night, how are we going to get all this stuff done that needs to be done? And why wasn't it done in the first place?
I knew California would give us awesome weather, but I never thought it would take us out of the home and into the fire. Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. You know, they don't call it the great outdoors for nothing. Working outside can be a lot more fun than being inside, but you've got to know what you're dealing with, and every location has its own challenges. We took a road trip to Pasadena, California to help Jennifer and Abraham. They were stuck with an unfinished reno to their bungalow. They already paid the contractor an extra $6,000 on top of a $200,000 job. But it wasn't even a third of the way done. The contractor abandoned the project. He just took their money and walked, but not before putting a lien on their house. Go figure.
Look at the view. I wouldn't want to move from here neither. That's why they want to stay. Let's work on the house that they're living in. It's quiet. It's beautiful.
How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Thanks for coming back.
Contractor came in. What are we here? Every day. No problem. Don't worry.
Abram?
Hello there.
What's your name?
Isaac. My name's Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. How you doing? I like your overalls.
You could see they were working very hard. Progress was being made. It seemed to be going very well. Turns out that it wasn't.
This contractor not only took $206,000 from this family, but leaned them for an additional $96,000, saying, "Oh, I had to lay my guys off. We're almost out of work."
I don't have any groceries. I can't get out of bed. If there was anything I could do to finish this job, I would do it.
He took their money. He leaned them for an additional $96,000. He's still going.
Of course, we came to find out through our mailman that he was doing another job in the neighborhood.
Is he coming back to finish this? No.
1, 2, 3. Going high.
Ah, California. Palm trees, blue skies, and loads of sunshine. As much as I wanted to be there, I had other jobs that I needed to oversee. So I left a lot of the groundwork with Damon and our new friends who agreed to help out.
Damon, it's me. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Is it warm there?
No. Yeah, it's a little warm, buddy.
Well, it's not warm here.
I am so sorry. I feel really bad.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. Keep up the good work. We'll stay in touch, okay? You need me, just call me.
Holmes, do I still have a job when I come home?
Not if you have a tan.
We're returning the convertible today.
By the time I got back, I was amazed by the amount of work the guys put in.
I'm really impressed. It is morning, and I'm looking at incredible work. James, it's looking so good, I swear. I'm telling you. Now I'm excited.
We're getting there. Yeah, me too. Now that people can see what actually it's going to look like. It's pretty cool.
How's the rain been?
Not bad. There was a couple days that slowed us down, but other than that, it's been pretty good. I haven't seen the extended forecast right now, but hopefully.
I saw it this week, and it's real good.
All right.
A good contractor works for the home's environment. California gets a lot of sunlight, so why not use it? I wanted to bring in as much natural light into this home as possible, so we even threw in some tunnel skylights.
I've been a fan all my life of skylights, but every time I do a skylight, I got to restructure the roof rafters, obviously the drywall, lots of damage, lots of repairs.
Yeah.
These guys, they install the same day with no repairs.
In about 2 hours, they go in really fast. Just a reflective pipe takes the daylight right down to the ceiling.
If we use more sunlight, we use fewer lights and less energy. What's this mean for the homeowner? Smaller electricity bills? It's a no-brainer. We use tile to clad the exterior partition wall of the house. You can do this in the warmer climates, but not in places that get cold winters. Why not? Because if water gets behind it, it'll freeze and it'll break the tile and the grout. Jennifer and Abraham didn't have a huge backyard. But hey, it's California. I'm sure their son Isaac would have loved a nice soft lawn to play on. So we gave him one.
I say nice.
A hot, dry winter sounds great, but the dry heat has its downsides. It came a little too close for comfort for me. 3, so we have 1 here. Let's hope the wind doesn't blow them over. Looks like they may have that fire under control. Yeah. But could you imagine if it actually came this way? I'm telling you. I don't even want to think about it. The wind's blowing this way. You can see how it just carries it over and then crosses it back this way. So over the hills, it's going that way, but as it gets to here, it's coming this way. That's a big fire. Thankfully, that fire stopped before it got any closer. But I'll tell you, I was worried there for a minute or two. It's just another reminder that you can't predict Mother Nature. 6 months, lots of work, lots of people, probably in the area of 100 different men in that house. Let's step out on your new deck.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Wow.
What is that, Mike?
Now, this is a teak flooring which goes over top. It's a floating floor, and the idea is that we do not want to damage your waterproof system, as well as we want drainage. So James has sloped this in 2 directions with your glass rails. How do you like your glass rails?
I love my glass rails.
Now, you didn't have grass before. As a matter of fact, you had the hardest earth I've ever witnessed in my life.
It's called granite.
Yes, it's called decomposed granite, so I'm told. Okay, so what we did was made sure that more friends of yours that came in to help us. Again, I wanted safety for your child, so we have the glass rail all the way around with a fence on this side.
Good things happen, bad thing is just a test. And the test will either make it or break you. And we made it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to fix a house that's 50 years old, or 20, even 10. But how is it possible that I was outside fixing a house that was only 3 years old? 3! I don't get it. Do it right the first time. We don't have problems. That's just as simple as that. Do it right the first time. Welcome back. It's the best of Homes on Homes, and we're showing the best stories we've got in the great outdoors. I see a lot of buyers get blinded on how great the outside of the house looks. They fall in love with the curb appeal, but it's just lipstick and mascara. Remember, looks are deceiving. It's what's on the inside that counts. A home is an investment. Adele and Walter used their heads. They found an area they loved and hired a contractor to build them a dream home. But it wasn't long before the relationship with their builder started showing cracks. This is gorgeous. I'm seeing great finishing. There are no cracks whatsoever in the ceiling. Open concept. I love the kitchen.
Yep. All we wanted to do was build a house. And we had a contract and we had a price. And it was agreed that if anything was over, we'd discuss it first and sign off on it and approve it. And it didn't work that way.
And I don't see anything that's really a problem other than minimum code violations, right? Fireplace cannot be used. The brick on the outside is not only not finished, it's falling off.
Yeah, it falls off regularly.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little frustrated here. Where's your step?
Well, I don't know.
You didn't put it in.
We don't have a step.
The problem here that I see is there's no enforcement. No one has stepped up to the plate and said, get your butt back in this house, finish it, fix it, and then you'll get your money. No one. That exhaust for your fireplace needs to be a minimum of 15 feet away from this. This is a regulator, and what happens is the pressure underground will be more than the pressure that comes into the house. So the regulator, much like a breathing apparatus for a diver that goes on water, regulates that pressure coming into your home.
Right.
This is what I'd like to call a purge valve. Now, it's not really a purge valve, much like diving, but if the gas ever is pushed too much, it will release some gas. That's why that's got to be at least 15 feet away. That's a hot exhaust coming out from the fireplace. This top cap they've used, they just did a mortar fill, and what happens is when rain penetrates that area, runs down the siding onto this point, it can easily get in behind the wall. So now I'm worried about moisture. But what I do see is that we do have a concrete board right in this area.
Yep.
If water gets in behind it, it freezes, it will push it and break it off. I'm seeing a crack over top of the window, right across here. More cracks.
Yep.
As we continue, we're gonna see more. All the way around the house, right?
Yep.
Another crack.
Yep.
Here, it's fallen out.
Oh, yeah, that's there you go.
This house was less than 3 years old, but the exterior stonework was installed so poorly, there was no way it could make it through another winter. All of the stone had to come off the house, and I mean all of it. The gas meter, the gas lines, they all had to be moved, so that meant just a whole lot of digging. Who wants a shovel?
I'll shovel.
Okay,
Right here. You see that?
I got a shovel already.
All right, you two are shoveling.
Nice.
I think we should try and salvage as much as we can rather than just tossing it away.
For sure, this is nice stuff. Okay.
Well, that's a good start. Now that sucks. That really sucks. This is a joke. That's a joke. I'm sorry, that is a total joke. How heavy is this? Like, that is really, really heavy.
300-400 pounds, I'd say.
What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So times 3, 15. So about 15 nails holding that.
Oh, it was a matter of time before this actually sheared right off.
It's a shame because what we are seeing is good products. We see the hardy board, we see the concrete board, we see proper seal with the tar paper. The problem is the concrete board.
Yeah.
It's not adhered to the wall.
Yeah.
Strong enough. That's a lot of weight.
No kidding.
see the efflorescence buildup and all the stains that shows the moisture. But what other indication here tells us that we've had moisture in behind the stone? Look at the nails. Okay, we had tar paper up here. Nails, that means the moisture got behind the tar paper. Nails are rusted. Rusting, 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 signs of water. Out of sight, out of mind? I don't think so. Take it down. We dug it deep enough for you now, Dave?
Plenty deep, yeah. That's good.
What's next?
We'll pinch. It's plastic, we pinch. And the pipe.
Is that this thing here?
That's a pinch-off tool.
Ways to make you talk, eh? So you're gonna pinch this off.
We basically make the cut after it's pinched.
After moving the gas meter and repairing the whole exterior exhaust, Adele and Walter could finally use their fireplace. The contractor used all the right products, but all the wrong installation methods. It's a huge waste of money. Spending money twice doesn't work for me. We wrapped the base of the house in Typar. Then I added a second membrane to create an airspace. So if any moisture gets behind the wall, it can dry itself out. The parge coat has to stick to something, so we added a layer of mesh. We had to be really careful here because this entire wall assembly is a system. A problem in one part will affect the other parts. You don't want the parge coat to be smooth, you want it a bit rough. This helps create a better bond with the stone because it bonds better to rough surfaces. So once Damon laid it on, I scratched it up.
I check the first course so it's nice and level, and then the stones that go on top of it are gonna rest on the first course. So the first course is the most important one.
It's starting to look really good. The scratch coat's up. As they're coming around the house, we can see the top stones are in place now. I like it. I've asked them to rake back the top stone. Very important to me. Really, almost no one does this out here. We'll add a rubberized caulking afterwards. And the reason we're going to do that is we want it watertight from that penetrating rain, especially from the west. That's how it got in the first place. Let's seal it.
Hello.
Adele, Walter.
Hi, Mike.
We're done.
Wow.
Wow.
We're done. Come on out, take a look.
All right, great, thanks.
Another happy ending. Happy endings are good, but imagine waiting 3 years for a happy ending. And how happy is it if you've got to go through the pain and anguish that these two people went through? For me, here's the fun part. Here's where we get to say, okay, look at the difference. Do you like this stone over the other stone? It's very close.
Yeah. Great. It's a lot nicer finish, and just the quality of the work, though. It's all tight. Looks
and
fantastic.
best of all, there's no cracks. There's no stones falling off.
It's just the way it should have been.
It looks like the finish of a custom home, yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
Meeting you both.
Yes.
And I'm glad it's done.
Yeah. Oh.
No more, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll take the hug. That's fine. I'll take the hug.
There are bad contractors everywhere, even in the Wild West.
Obviously, he used these scared tactics again. We're going to sue you. We're going to go to collections. I want my money. I want. But you stood up and said, kiss my butt, you're not getting it. I like that.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We're looking back at the stories that pushed us to do something great outdoors. Yvonne and Tadashi have a nice little place in the middle of an absolutely beautiful area. All they wanted was a bit more room, so they decided to do an addition. What did they end up with? A really bad build, an empty bank account, and an unfinished job. Awesome.
We're talking about a very simple home here. Actually, the whole neighborhood. The houses are prefab. They crane them in on top of a pressure-treated foundation, which we're not used to, but it's allowed. The drainage in the earth is incredible because there's a lot of stone. Yvonne.
Hi.
You must be Tadashi.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Mike. Not so often I take a plane and then drive.
Yeah.
But this is nice. The story was easy. 15 by 15 addition to the home, $90,000. That's kind of a lot of money. But I understand out here they're in demand. Okay. But for $90,000, it should be perfect.
Stuff just wasn't getting done. And suddenly he appeared, and he was back. And he started asking about a substantial completion payment.
So we have a drain, but we also have a slope coming towards the door. Why is there a hole?
We made the hole.
You made the hole.
The water, it would rain, and then it would just puddle like mad. Like, and then it would
And it wouldn't go down.
Wouldn't go down.
There's a cloth over it and it goes to nowhere. You know what? I would have attached that drain to this drain and then brought it out that way.
This one doesn't work too bad. At least so far, it hasn't backed up.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be laughing. The contractor wouldn't do any more work without any more money. Yvonne and Tadashi weren't going to pay anything else until he fixed the problems. When lawyers got involved, the contractor stopped calling, period. What was he supposed to do here, over the door?
There's supposed to be a small roof, you know.
Okay, so peaked roof, columns coming off the sides.
down.
Okay. Because you got great run here. Our landscaping comes down this way. This is where we want the water to go. Keep it away from the house. They had great slope for drainage, but they were still getting water in the basement. And the exterior drains were backing up big time. Immediately, I'm thinking something's wrong with the weeping towel. I only had 2 weeks to finish this job, and from the looks of it, there was going to be a lot of digging. But those mountains, man, they just made everything seem better. You got the mountain view. I'm totally jealous. I mean, my house, I got a hill. How tall is that? That's the Three Sisters, right?
That's Three Sisters, yeah.
And how tall is that?
How tall they are?
Yeah, about 10,000 feet.
Wow. All right, let's go. Straight across. We'll pull up all the asphalt. They had drainage and leaking problems, so the first thing I wanted to do was dig around the foundation. It was the only way I could see for myself if the drainage and the weeping system was proper. Otherwise, anything I would do would be useless. So I was off to a great start. There was no footings under the concrete retaining walls, no weeping tiles around the new addition. No wonder they were getting water in the basement. I now had to take down the retaining walls and do a whole lot more digging just to get proper drainage. Can you believe this? This is just a great example of someone's mind thinking, this will work. Don't worry, this is great drainage. Man, I always say, let's keep the water outside of our house. All we're doing is putting a drain so that when it gets wet on that concrete, it has somewhere to go, right? Well, where's it going? It's going under the pad. It's going into some stone and hoping to hell that it never rains that much. Because if it does, well, it already did. It backed up on that side, went underneath the door. So if it does it there and it continues down here, it's gonna back up and go underneath this door. What better place for all that water to drain than into the garden? Our only problem was we had to rip up the backyard to get it there. We also wanted to protect the foundation by properly sealing it. Another thing the contractor forgot to do. For the retaining wall, I wanted to try something different, so I brought in some stone from a local quarry and created a great-looking stone wall. Tight fit, eh, Larry? Was it necessary? No, but I wanted to do something special. Good. Look how it's all around us, eh? It's almost like we got this little umbrella right here. And I hope that umbrella stays open. We gave these homeowners a new weeping system, new exterior floor drains, and a new retaining wall. Nice. And most of it the homeowners will never see, including no water in the basement. We're ready. Let's go. All of this work just to fix something that should have been done right in the first place. Now all I had to do was put it back together, and with the threat of rain, we had to work fast. See what happens when you put a bunch of guys together that work hard and care about what they do? Things get done.
Like an ape. Give me a bit more slack, let go of my wrist, MJ. You guys drop me?
A lot going on, last day, as usual. The rain, we're fighting it. It's on our side. That umbrella's still over this house. I'm trying to stay under it. We do have the asphalt guys coming in today. That makes me very happy.
The grass is going in. A nice amount of topsoil on top. Lay the sod green side up. I like saying that. It's just something I do. Put it where you want it. Okay. This has been a journey, coming out here, helping this family. I didn't get a chance to really see the sights. We worked from morning till night.
That they took this time out of their busy schedules. We're so happy to live here.
We found a fine gentleman after we demolished your backyard. He came in and resodded everything and planted a couple more shrubberies that we actually ruined. The concrete system that I already showed you before would not have passed code, and it didn't. So we removed it all. It took us 3 days to jackhammer that out. And then we made you a stone retaining wall, which we're gonna go down and see it. A little bit of a rock garden. So if you wanted to do anything in here, you can. But for me, this looks good. We've created a drainage system right from your door, when I go down and show you, right through your backyard, right out to the drain, so to control anything that goes down there, it will go out and not in your house. Looks good, eh?
This looks absolutely wonderful.
Wow.
And the rocks look great. Everybody works such long hours. I really appreciate it.
This is how I get paid.
I'm just gonna keep crying. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
Another outdoor job, another bad contractor, and another couple learns that paying cash will leave you out in the cold.
How do you finish this area?
And he basically said, don't worry, it'll get done, but it was very vague. And within a few days, he was gone.
Not gonna work, never gonna last, totally done wrong, walked away with the money.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. Today, it's all about the great outdoors and the great mistakes some contractors make. Working outside is challenging on so many levels, and for this next story, I mean that literally. Joe and Lisa's backyard is on a hill, so they needed a retaining wall for their sloping backyard, but you just can't put up a wall. You have to think about drainage, weight-bearing capacity, freeze and thaw cycles, basically all the things their contractor ignored.
Joe,
Hi, Mike.
Lisa, great to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hello, hello.
Talk about a friendly contract. Joe, the homeowner, gets paid $14 an hour off the total price for doing some work.
These are all the tools left by the contractor.
And he hasn't tried to come back and get them?
No.
And he comes. Give me about $10,000 labor. You know, don't worry about a contract. Let's do it cash. We'll save you some money.
The actual cash in hand to him was $10,000.
Did you say cash in hand? Here we go again. Cash, which means, did you have a contract?
There was, well, not a...
Put it in writing. Pay by check. If anything happens, it's just another step in the system that helps you. In this case, there's nothing to help you. Now, honestly, I love this stone, but there's a limit to its height. The limit to its height is 3 feet. Here's a big issue. This is your neighbor up here?
Yes.
All right, we have the grate up here, so which means in the winter or fall, spring, especially spring, imagine all the water coming this way and behind this wall. When that water comes down that hill, and it will because the neighbors is higher land, it's gonna freeze and push that wall over in the first year. All that money that you spent goes right out the window. I think they're out of pocket $14,000, including materials, including labor. And I look at it and go, for what? A little bit of dig back that Joe did, some stone installed. I guess the idea was to move the wall back, put in more patios, so tie into existing. New stone, old stone, 2 different colors, 2 different batches, never gonna match. This needs to be underground because we need a locking effect of some sort. I don't wanna just rely on the paving stone because what's gonna happen is it's gonna push it against the pool. If there's any push on this wall, it will push that against the pool. This whole stair section should have been removed to tie everything back in and then reapply the stairs back in place because you can't leave the wood in the ground. Now that you know that it's no good, you've got to remove it. So that means pulling all that stone back,
digging out this area, redoing, tying it all into this point here so that everything becomes structurally intact. I'm gonna rip this apart. We're gonna give all this stuff away to a family that can use it, because I do not want to throw anything out that's still reusable. And we're gonna change this just a little bit. We're gonna do the old grab and run.
Grab and run them?
I'm not in a hurry. I'm not gonna take 2, kill myself. I used to be 22, I'm not anymore. I had big plans for that backyard, so I needed some big rocks. The armor stone would be great for the retaining wall, but I ran into my own problem. I needed access. I had to bring big rocks in with tractors, so that meant the shed was coming down. The idea is to work our way right across with the Bobcat, staying away from the pool. Making sure we get the weeping tile in, the fabric to keep the dirt out, and plenty of stone in behind it. Control any water that comes down and weep it out the side of the house. In my world, fixing one problem always leads to another. What started out as building a simple retaining wall turned into an entire backyard. We had to redo the patio stones around the pool so that they would tie back into the retaining wall. With the old patio stones coming up, we needed to replace the gate around the pool. And with all the machinery and traffic in the back, we completely tore up the lawn, which we also needed to replace.
No more mud. When the green stuff comes out, the end is near.
Oh, hey, wow.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
This is our backyard.
This is gorgeous.
In every single job we do, it's all about bringing in the right people, qualified professionals.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
This is way more than we expected. All I wanted was a wall to hold up the dirt, keep the trees alive. It's incredible.
That looks great. I love that.
That's amazing. I've never seen that kind of stone.
Neither have I. I love that.
That's what we call armor stone. It's probably the hardest stone you've ever seen. Try putting a drill into it or hitting it with a sledgehammer, and that's why they call it armor stone.
We're gonna be living out here all summer long.
I feel like I'm in someone else's yard, like in LA or Beverly Hills or something.
It's so open and classy, and I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And it's nice to see so many people who take pride in their work, do a good job, do it right.
And that's what I'm here for, to do it right. Because if you don't do it right, there's no point in doing it at all. There are a lot of good contractors out there that do good work, but there are too many who will take your money and run. Be smart, get quotes, ask questions, get references, and please check them out. Don't pay the full amount until you get the job you agreed on. The last thing you give is your money. The same rules apply for work done outside of home. Do your homework and stay on top of things. Do that, and you'll know why it's called the great outdoors.
Isn't it beautiful, Sarah?
These are beautiful. Look at that. Very nice.
Like to play some drums?
Oh! All right. Awesome. Awesome.
For more information about this show, please visit hgtv.ca.